Story 1. Two bad people having a public argument does not mean I like either of them. They are both terrible human beings. Story 2. On one hand, I want Elon Musk to be ruined. On the other hand, political retribution like that is morally wrong. Story 3. I guess I just cannot understand how people can watch everyone at this party continue to act hypocritically and not question the truthfulness of what they say. If Donald Trump has such a problem with Elon Musk's businesses now, why did he not before when Musk was helping him? If the problem is so serious, does it not reflect on the integrity of our current president to allow someone financially troubled to stand beside him in the Oval Office during conferences? It is all rhetorical, of course. Story 4. Trump versus Musk is peak billionaire drama. Threatening to send him back over a tax bill is wild. Feels more like ego than policy. Meanwhile, regular people are the ones who will deal with the fallout. Story 5. Musk should receive the same treatment from Immigration and Customs Enforcement as every other undocumented migrant worker he helped deport. Donald Trump has a cell waiting for him in Guantanamo Bay. No access to ketamine, though. However, it is a suitable place to recover. Story 6. I still do not believe a word of it. This is all a trick to regain Elon Musk's liberal customer base and restore their trust. Story 7. All of you who think your First Amendment rights are violated because you get thrown out of Walmart for screaming a racial slur, this is what an actual First Amendment violation looks like. I would be happy to see both of them dropped in the middle of the ocean without a boat, but when the president threatens to use the government against you for voicing an opinion, that is a First Amendment violation. The key is the government doing it to you. Story 8. Trump uses distractions to cover up his shortcomings and failures as the president. He does not want the American people focusing on the real issues, so he creates chaos to divert attention from other corrupt activities he is avoiding consequences for. It would not surprise me if Elon Musk is involved in this scheme. Chaos is a key strategy in Trump's playbook to continue disrupting America. As for sending Elon Musk back to South Africa, it will never happen. Remember, anytime Trump is stirring up trouble, he is up to something again. Story 9. Elon Musk will call the bluff, and if Donald Trump tries, it would not be surprising if Elon Musk shares some revealing information about Donald Trump. Story 10. I hope they destroy each other. With that said, Elon Musk should release every damaging piece of information he has on Donald Trump and go down swinging. Story 11. If the conspiracy theory that Elon Musk rigged the election is correct, I would think that Elon Musk might have nothing to lose if Immigration and Customs Enforcement comes knocking and releases the evidence. And if it is Leon, he might know where other bodies are buried. Who knows what data Dogecoin collected for him? This is going to get interesting. Story 12. Trump is terrified of the money Elon Musk can invest in elections, the computers he can manipulate, and the data he has collected that can be used to harm him. Story 13. The president has very few actual powers, very little actually. He cannot and will not deport him. Besides, the Senate and Congress will never allow it because of the amount of money the United States has invested in his military contracts. Be realistic, people. World leaders say a lot of things, but hardly any of it gets done the way they say it will. Story 14. My thoughts are that while they are handling immigration matters, they should review all Einstein visas to ensure the recipients are indeed deserving. We already have the first convicted felon in the White House. Why not have the first deported felon? Story 15. It is outrageous that we, or more accurately, Republicans, tolerate this vile individual's anti-American abuses of power. To even make such threats should trigger impeachment and demands for resignation. It does not matter at whom they were directed. The presidency is a position of service to our nation, an authority granted by the people to someone who works to raise the tide for all Americans, and who is equally subject to revocation of that authority for violation of that trust. It is absolutely not a position for petty thugs to flex our people's power for their personal vendettas and selfish benefit, in direct opposition to the principles of our Constitution. He is fascist, and now through the abdication of responsibility by Republicans in Congress to protect the Constitution, and the complicit support of billionaires and propaganda media, so is America. Fallen from the land of the free to just another fascist dictatorship in under 10 years, with the most measurable disintegration in just the past 6 months. To be clear, I have no forgiveness in my heart for Elon. I do not even believe that he has changed his mind, only that he wants his sales back. But no president should ever make direct threats to an individual's citizenship. That is not even under his jurisdiction, let alone worthy of the office. Anyone who defends the American flag and what it symbolizes should be literally up in arms over this repugnance. For this and many other violations of the people's trust. Story 16. I hate Elon Musk with all my being. Absolutely detest him. But there is one thing I hate worse. The executive branch deporting anyone they dislike without due process. Do not get sucked into the emotions of the situation. Remember that if you are fine with deporting someone simply because you do not like them, then you are just acting like Donald Trump. Story 17. This is good news for America. Donald Trump and his supporters are the greatest threat to the American way of life in history. Opposition to Donald Trump has one goal: to stop his ability to harm people's lives. Donald Trump has many harmful plans. If Elon Musk wants to help stop one of these plans, I say great. Story 18. Do not criticize Too Weak Taco or you might be deported. Nobody can speak negatively about the person with the thinnest skin on the planet. Good game electing him make America great again. America is so great now. Story 19. As much as I would enjoy the pleasure derived from another's misfortune of the letter of the law being applied to the richest person in the world, I hate the idea of anyone's constitutional rights being suppressed because the president does not like what they are saying. Story 20. People who dislike Elon Musk and want actions taken against him need to realize that if Donald Trump acts against Elon Musk, he will certainly do the same to his political opponents. Story 21. Send him back. Deport Melania for lying on her visa. Deport the Trump children born in the United States. It is only fair. Oh wait, it only applies to people of color. Got it. Story 22. It is a literal constitutional violation, but when has that stopped this individual? I dislike Elon Musk, but I want to defend free speech rights even more. Story 23. On one hand, goodbye to Elon Musk. He has caused significant damage in a short time. On the other hand, former President Donald Trump deporting anyone who disagrees with him is very concerning. Story 24. As much as I would love to see Elon Musk get what is coming, I care much more that the president should not have the power to deport public or political enemies. Story 25. I hope that they continue to fight so that it forces Elon Musk to release whatever information he has on Donald Trump as payback. Story 26. Now the people who have been protesting need to actually protect Elon Musk, as this is what they want to prevent. That is going to be awkward, but people need to stand up for their beliefs, even when it may not be what they truly want. No leaders means he cannot just remove someone because he does not like them. Story 27. I dislike Donald Trump and Elon Musk. The worst part about this situation is what it represents and the fact that no one is discussing it. And the media is indifferent. Donald Trump is openly stating, I do not care about the actual rules. I want to use the federal government as a weapon against my opponents. He is unconcerned whether Elon Musk's legal status is valid or if there is a loophole affecting his presence. He simply wants Musk to comply and follow orders, and he is willing to use government power to enforce that, regardless of Musk's legal standing. It is unfortunate that Donald Trump can say, yes, the government is here to resolve my grievances, not to serve the people. And people respond with indifference. Donald Trump is directly threatening, if you say things I do not like, I will deport you. There is no clearer attack on free speech than that. Story 28. Elon should be subject to the same laws that every citizen is subject to. If this administration is determined to deport immigrants, and they find that he is here illegally, then he should be deported. Please note that I do not agree with anything this administration has done or is doing regarding immigration. What I am saying is that no citizen, including the president, should be above the law. Story 29. Freedom of speech is an essential right in the United States. If this were really about the legitimacy of Elon Musk's citizenship, it would have been addressed earlier. Now that he is no longer useful or in the inner circle, they will act when it is advantageous. I do not like Elon at all, but it is unfair to be persecuted and targeted for removal of citizenship over free speech and political beliefs. Story 30. My thoughts are I wonder how much information Elon has on Donald Trump. It would be great if he has somehow obtained hard evidence that would really harm Donald Trump. The actual Epstein list with corresponding documents and evidence of treason that could not be ignored. Donald Trump and Elon Musk could both ruin each other, so I think that nothing will actually come of this, at least for now. I also think Elon Musk should be careful. He might have an accident soon. Due to his access with Dogecoin, he may know too much about some very powerful people with questionable ethics. They have a lot to protect and keep secret from the public. In the end, I think this administration will implode upon itself. There are too many unstable, backstabbing, greedy, selfish individuals involved, and they seem very confident that they can get away with anything now. That type of thinking and stupidity leads to carelessness. Once one or two major players go down, they will all start talking to save themselves. I think it may happen sooner rather than later. Story 31. It sounds like the President of the United States is threatening a civilian with deportation and revocation of citizenship, which is illegal. Story 32. Democrats should stay out of it and let them go at it. It is good for the Make America Great Again movement to eat their own. Any comment on it from the left will just distract their focus from doing what they want to do. The ultimate outcome would be for Donald Trump to deport Elon Musk and for Elon Musk to reveal the election was stolen. Anything less is just business as usual. Story 33. If the richest man in the world, even if he is unpleasant, is threatened for exercising his right to free speech, what chance do we have to exercise ours? Story 34. Musk has way too much on him for that to happen. Either way, it is a win-win for everyone. Edit. Thank you, kind stranger, for the award. Story 35. If he is a citizen, then he has the rights guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States. This is not the land of we the Trumps. It is the land of we the people. Story 36. Elon Musk has the power and money to significantly challenge Donald Trump. His former business partner said Musk is very skilled at seeking revenge. He has the financial resources to influence the entire Republican Party. Story 37. I vigorously oppose Donald Trump's threat. As much as I wish he were not, Elon Musk is a citizen and deserves all of the protections it affords. Story 38. This is a distraction to get Americans to focus on the fight instead of the millions of people who are going to die because of the bill. Story 39. He will not do it because he knows that Elon Musk will invest as much money as possible into candidates who will challenge every last Make America Great Again politician in both the House of Representatives and the Senate moving forward. Story 40. It should not be the prerogative of the president to strip anyone's citizenship, whether native-born or naturalized. This political retribution is authoritarian, immoral, and un-American. The president has no business threatening individual states, cities, universities, elected officials, car salesmen, singers, or actors. It should be the president's job to administer national policy and stay out of individuals' lives. Story 41. I'm just enjoying the show. Just half a year ago, Elon was a Make America Great Again supporter in the White House. This situation just doesn't stop. Does it? I wish Elon hadn't damaged critical United States institutions as much with his ketamine-fueled Dogecoin rampage, or it would have been easier to support him. Story 42. I think it clearly illustrates what former President Donald Trump and the Make America Great Again movement plan to do with their immigration and customs enforcement army. They plan to deport or detain anyone who does not agree with them. Before surrendering to them, Lisa Murkowski spoke the truth. She said people were afraid to speak out because they feared reprisal and violence. Story 43. Stop paying attention to theater. If you start to see government contracts pulled from Elon Musk's companies, then some of this might be real and not a long-term public relations campaign by Elon Musk and his businesses. Story 44. Citizenship should be sacred. I know it is entertaining to see Elon face consequences, but I want the Constitution to be followed. Story 45. He will not take action. Neither will Elon Musk. Both of them only achieve their positions by ensuring they maintain money and power on their side. They may argue and make indirect attacks at each other to boost their egos, but in the end, they need each other. Story 46. I actually do not want him to support anyone financially, even though it is tempting if it would make him bankrupt, because it is precisely such actions and bribery that prevent fair elections. I would prefer that he tell the truth about election interference and then donate the money he would have spent on influencing politicians to something the American public needs, like healthcare. Story 47. Musk will be getting what he voted for. Seriously, anybody who votes Republican is a foolish person. Story 48. I would love to see internal combustion engines disappear, Elon Musk. That might finally wake up Americans to the reality that their country has become a fascist nation. Who am I kidding? Americans could never admit to themselves that what they believed in was a total lie. That would be like finally admitting to yourself that there was never such a thing as God. Story 49. If Adolf Hitler invaded hell, I would make at least a favorable reference to the devil in the House of Commons. Winston Churchill. Story 50. Good. Deport him. Then we will see if Elmo follows through with his promise to challenge every Republican. Maybe this will finally bring some attention to ending international contributions in politics. Story 51. Musk was a useful idiot who craved the limelight and attention. He played his part and then realized he was just a disposable asset. He lashed out at first but then backed down, desperately trying to cling to relevance. Now Donald Trump sees him as a potential stepping stone to impress his followers. He can choose to crush or not crush Musk, who is isolated, and Trump's followers will interpret it as either a display of power or mercy. Either way, they will embrace it and Trump will come out on top. Musk will most likely end up taking his own life, either intentionally or unintentionally due to overdose. Story 52. This is just theater. Americans are losing healthcare and job security. Americans are becoming more disrespected around the world. The air traffic control cuts will hurt middle and lower incomes but reward Elon Musk and his peers immensely. A little feud between these two is just to keep people distracted. Donald Trump is deliberate in his erosion of the United States of America as a world power. Story 53. I hope he goes back and is exiled from all his companies. In retaliation, he reveals hard evidence that the elections were completely rigged, showing how it was done. This causes a whirlwind of trouble for the Trump campaign and Make America Great Again Republicans. Story 54. Elon Musk is the greatest con artist of all time, followed by Donald Trump, the greatest Bible salesman and con artist of our generation. My thoughts are that Trump can deport Elon to the sun's surface for all I care. Story 55. Seems childish. They get along when it is convenient for both. But the moment tensions start, the social media posts follow. I kind of wish our leaders in both politics and business were more mature people. Story 56. I would love for Elon Musk to be deported. I would love it even more if Donald Trump were forced to go with him. I am just fantasizing. Story 57. I love the conflict between them. They will reveal more information openly, and regardless of the outcome, it is better for the United States of America. We just need Elon Musk to admit the election was rigged to get back at Donald Trump. Story 58. On one hand. On the other hand, we have been spending the last months defending people's right to say things that are logical and sensible and not standing with this government. On the other hand. Story 59. In the last resort, a remedy must be obtained from the people, who can, by the election of more faithful representatives, annul the acts of the usurpers. The Federalist, number 44, by James Madison. Story 60. Whatever my thoughts of Elon Musk are, it is an absolute travesty that we are at a point where an American president is threatening an American citizen with denaturalization over his political views. Donald Trump is the least patriotic or American president to ever serve in the office. He fundamentally does not understand our government, and it really breaks my heart to see so many help him reshape the government into something twisted and grotesque. Story 61. I mean, just like any of the Cubans for Trump or Venezuelans for Trump, Elon deserves to be deported. Forget them all. Story 62. Would not mind it at all. That would be the first Donald Trump's move since he was born that I would consider good for society. Story 63. I do not trust either of them. and I do not think anything will happen between them as a result of this. Story 64. I am not really convinced that this is not all staged by both of them because Elon Musk realized there are not enough millionaires and billionaires out there who can afford Tesla vehicles. Story 65. Remember 15 years ago when the media got together and decided to go about 90 days without mentioning Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan just to see what would happen? I really wish they would do the same with this administration in general and Elon Musk. Almost everything both do is just for attention. Story 66. Do supporters of Make America Great Again need to burn their Teslas like they did to their Carhartt jackets or shoot them full of bullets like Budweiser? Story 67. Mutual destruction would be the best-case scenario right now. I am rooting for Elon to start his own political party, which will divide the Grand Old Party and help the Democrats regain control. The Grand Old Party destroying itself would do so much good for the country and the world. Story 68. Two morally bankrupt clowns are having a spat. They will be friends again by the end of the week. Story 69. Musk is naturalized. Let's see if he will be the first citizen to be stripped of citizenship and deported for violating former President Trump's anti-freedom of speech law. One massive domino. Story 70. The only reason the United States has not been completely exploited is that the leaders cannot agree on how to disadvantage everyone the most. Story 71. Judging by what has been happening so far with the Trump administration, I would not put it past him to attempt to deport Elon Musk and have the United States government seize his companies. As far as Elon Musk is concerned, you helped the person who has been deceiving people his whole life, so it should come as no surprise that you were deceived as well. Story 72. I am not sure what he thinks he is going to do to force him to go to South Africa. He cannot force Russia to stop bombing Ukraine, and despite all his words, he cannot stop Israel and the entire Middle East from fighting with each other. Elon Musk could undermine the United States space program in a heartbeat. Story 73. Do it, America. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are already one hell of a terrible reality show. We might as well see the carnage. Story 74. Good riddance, Elon. Thank you for hacking our medical system and rigging the election with your bribes and lotteries. Good riddance. Story 75. Stop spreading opinions. Serious events are happening. It is very unfortunate. Everything is problematic. They are causing issues. I have used the word suck an unusual number of times. Someone help, please. Story 76. It's fun to watch in the sense that watching trashy people on a reality show fight is entertaining. But these are some of the richest and most powerful men in the world, so the fallout will be bad for all of us. Personally, I think it is just Donald Trump doing what he does best, distracting from bigger issues. It is like watching a stage play while people are locking the doors and lighting the back rows on fire. Story 77. But he is a citizen, right? If it is okay, then all other things ICE is doing should be okay. I do not get it. Story 78. This whole alien versus predator thing seems to be a highly effective smokescreen for hiding the Project 2025 masterminds who want to undermine the American Constitution. Story 79. All a charade. Likely Elon Musk and the administration see some advantage from the apparent rift that would benefit them in terms of voting or international impression. Story 80. Who cares? Both are terrible and deserve each other. Unfortunately, they paved the way for full-on fascism in the United States. Story 81. This bill is a threat to every American. It will help fund former President Donald Trump's secret police, allow millions to suffer and not receive the medical care they need. Also, billionaires can have whatever they want. It is like all warnings of history and every dystopian film merging into one terrible nightmare for the American people. Story 82. The Trump administration is saying they can revoke naturalized citizenship now for criminal offenses. Pick one to charge Elmo with and send him back. Maybe then people will understand how fascist this policy is. Story 83. I immediately thought of this animation and mentality. I really hope they get what they deserve. Story 84. I just want to know when Donald Trump is on the toilet writing his false statements and eating his cheeseburger. Does he dip the cheeseburger in the toilet water? Story 85. It is disgusting how deporting your rivals is normalized. What is next is horrifying. but it is what the United States wants. Story 86. I think it cannot be any more obvious that Donald Trump is a fascist and tries to eliminate the opposition in plain view. Elon Musk is not the most concerning example, just the most popular. Story 87. Trump is a petty human being. Elon Musk is telling the truth about the bill, and Donald Trump does not like his big lies being exposed. Elon Musk has the funds to challenge many Republicans in a primary if he chooses to because of this bill, and if that is his prerogative, more power to him. I hope a third party rises in the future. I may not like him, but I support the idea of an independent or third-party candidate becoming president in 2028. The electric vehicle tax credits being cut is a problem. We should be transitioning to renewable energy instead of relying on oil, as Donald Trump wants to do. I am sure that is what Elon Musk cares about the most. His threat to deport Elon Musk is just more lawless rhetoric from the tariff maximus. Story 88. If Donald Trump deports Elon Musk will have no reason not to reveal any election tampering he might have done. Either way, I have a big bowl of popcorn. Let them fight. Story 89. Sometimes you see two young children fighting intensely. They dislike each other and are fighting in a park. You try to separate them, but they resist being separated. Sometimes it is better to let them fight for a while and then separate them. Story 90. If we are deporting people without justification, he is at the top of my personal preference list. If given a choice to live in a country with Elon Musk or without Elon Musk, I would choose without. I believe people should experience the consequences of their own harmful and hateful decisions. I support when leopards eat the faces of the people who voted for and donated to the Leopards Eating People's Faces party. Story 91. If Elon Musk is deported to South Africa after supporting the most despicable administration of my lifetime, I do not care. It is poetic justice. Story 92. No one has the right to decide where, how, and with whom others should live. Everyone has their own opinion. Story 93. I am here for it. The world's most powerful man versus the world's richest man is going to have the kind of collateral damage this electorate deserves. Story 94. Donald Trump is actively working to strip naturalized citizens of their citizenship. Has Elon Musk committed any crimes? Probably. That means he can be stripped of citizenship in our new authoritarian government and deported, despite being a current citizen. Story 95. I wonder who will be advocating for the safeguarding of due process when the Trump administration inevitably moves to revoke Elon Musk's citizenship under the Department of Justice's new broad directive. Story 96. As much as I dislike Elon Musk, deportation as punishment for exercising free speech is abhorrent. Story 97. My thoughts are that this title is misleading and does not represent what Donald Trump actually said. Would probably have to is not the same as forced back. And these potentially malicious lapses, whether by major news corporations or posts like this, do no good for anyone. If you are asking me what I think of their dispute, I think it is pointless posturing on both sides, and I do not care. Story 98. We should find more ways as a society to turn the wealthy against each other. They do it to us as a distraction from the ongoing class conflict. Fight fire with fire. Story 99. It will never happen because it will set the precedent that white people can also be deported, not just people of color. Story 100. I dislike both individuals and strongly oppose Donald Trump threatening someone for exercising their free speech. However, if there were one person I would not mind being forcibly deported, it would be Elon Musk. Nevertheless, it would set a terrible precedent, so I believe it should not happen. Story 101. The two of them need to get in a submersible and go deep into the ocean where there are no distractions and just work through their problems. That is how you focus. Story 102. I was getting depressed because their feud was short-lived and Elon Musk apologized. I am ready for round 2. Story 103. I am enjoying watching the girls fight. I am not a fan of either. I believe all billionaires deserve the French cut. Story 104. South Africa does not deserve that in any way, shape, or form. Since apparently immigrants can be sent to places they are not from and have never been, why not try North Korea? Perhaps Antarctica? Really, no one should be forced to deal with or be around him, so Antarctica seems best, on the opposite side of the continent from McMurdo. Those poor scientists should not be saddled with him either. Story 105. If Elon Musk had courage beyond his obvious drug addiction, he would tell the world what he meant by his Epstein Files allegation. If he cannot do that, it is just Musk having ketamine rants. Story 106. Elon can go wherever he wants. They could revoke his visa status. He would still have business reasons to be here under certain conditions. He can live anywhere in the world he wants. He plays by different rules. Being the documented richest man in the world gives him options. Story 107. The fact that a sitting president is threatening someone who is presumably here legally should not be tolerated. He should be fired. Story 108. At the end of the day, rights are rights, and it does not matter how much you dislike or despise someone. Their rights are just as important and valid as anyone else's. Story 109. I hope they both ruin each other. They deserve it. We deserve it. Let the wealthy destroy each other, and then we can benefit. Story 110. Would his deportation affect his United States-based companies in any way, assuming he remained at the helm of each as chief executive officer? Story 111. Classic autocrat move. Donald Trump fails to realize that social media manipulation made him twice and can break him. If Elon Musk and the technology entrepreneurs really want to eliminate Trump and move their supporter J.D. Vance into pole position, they can. Trump is very vulnerable. For that matter, Trump could easily exit with his winnings. No politician has ever lined their pockets as much as he has. But he needs that cryptocurrency bill passed first. Did anyone notice no Trump family member has a chief executive officer title in the meme-related ventures? All are advisors and promoters with voting majority. You cannot sue them ever, and they are not required to report like any normal executive. Yet no one is reporting what has already happened with Melania Coin. Story 112. In an ideal world, he would personally escort Elon Musk to Africa and then forget how to return when his dementia begins. However, I fear we do not live in an ideal world. Story 113. Trump should be deported back to Germany or the Netherlands, or wherever his descendants were from. This is what America has become. A loose collective of people who always hustle each other for profit. Now they are pitted against one another so that billionaires can earn an extra 2% more this quarter and go rent Venice or Milan for a week or two. Story 114. That's kind of funny. That would mean a lot of other people would also need to be removed. I don't think he is willing to put in any effort for it. It is just a miniature geriatric contest of showing off. Story 115. Pure theater. Elon Musk appears to be fighting the good fight and also gains approval from people opposed to Donald Trump. Donald Trump pretends to be a powerful figure that his supporters admire, dominating others regardless of how un-American, unconstitutional, and unethical his actions may be. It means nothing in the grand scheme of things. It is just another meaningless plot point in the low-quality political drama this country has become. Flood the zone with falsehoods indeed. Story 116. I think they worked all of this out ahead of time. It is a bit of theater that political organizations always find useful. Story 117. So now all the free-thinking Make America Great Again supporters who loved Elon Musk a few months ago are still going to love him, right? Story 118. Impeach Donald Trump. But only after he deports Elon Musk. In all seriousness, this is First Amendment politically protected speech. Impeach him now. Story 119. Musk deserves whatever he gets. He helped put this lunatic back in the White House. I am tired of politicians or fake politicians like Musk finally growing a backbone only after they plan to exit politics. Story 120. Trump is petty enough to do this, and Leon is petty enough to go scorched earth on both Trump and Make America Great Again. Story 121. It is a good thing we have not had a woman for president, or else things would be very emotional and dramatic. Story 122. My thoughts as requested, in no particular order. Hey look, fascism in America. Two people insulting each other might be entertaining and a good distraction for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has the ability to make business very difficult for Elon Musk. Obviously, cutting energy, solar, and electric vehicle initiatives is bad, but Musk has many federal contracts and subsidies. An actual deportation effort would be surprising, aside from the whole fascism issue. Elon Musk has the resources to be very difficult to detain. I hope the United States can survive until 2028. Story 123. The Trump administration is a collection of terrible people and an absolute disaster, so this is just more evidence of it. I strongly disapprove of these individuals. Story 124. So what? I do not care. I have empathy for people who are suffering, not spoiled billionaires. Story 125. Thoughts? That Donald Trump is a criminal and an unpleasant person. I have zero sympathy for Elon Musk. Story 126. Not a fan of either of these individuals, but what does citizenship mean to a billionaire? I am sure he will be fine going anywhere and everywhere in the world on his private jets, his mega yachts, and so on. If he wants, he can just anchor 3 miles offshore and be in international waters. I would rather both of them meet their makers. Story 127. Cripple fight. Story 128. Two of the worst people I know are having a public argument and trying to convince us it is raining. Story 129. I think Donnie is exhibiting some dictatorial characteristics that should be a red flag for anyone who enjoys their freedom. Story 130. Sending him back to South Africa is putting it in the usual outrage bait version the news usually frames Donald Trump. We should be focusing on him threatening to discontinue all the subsidies Elon Musk receives, which is actually what we all want for all billionaires. Story 131. A sitting president threatening to deport someone just because they spoke out against him. What could go wrong with that? Story 132. Elon Musk said repeatedly that the issue he is most concerned about is the excessive spending that could bankrupt the United States. Story 133. I cannot stand Elon Musk, but you cannot just use fascist tactics to avoid criticism like Donald Trump does. This is the United States of America, and political criticism is literally embedded in the system. Story 134. If you criticize Donald Trump, you face consequences. That is what all dictatorships are about, right? Story 135. I need popcorn. Of course, we all need a few in-depth investigations into these criminals, but I will take what I can get from our current failing Congress. Story 136. Popcorn for everyone. Is there enough popcorn available? Donald Trump and Elon Musk are having a disagreement. Story 137. Disapproval of Elon Musk should not lead to deportation being used as a tool for political retribution. The president should not threaten anyone with political retribution for disagreeing or opposing them in any way. Story 138. No one should be deported for freedom of speech. This is a power struggle between the man in power and the man whose financial backing got him there. The Republican electorate is deciding whether they are more afraid of crossing Donald Trump and his Make America Great Again voters or Elon Musk, who can financially challenge them in primaries. Whether or not this bill passes will send a clear message about who has more influence over the Republican Party. Story 139. It is interesting how my opinion on Elon Musk has changed. 10 years ago, I thought he was an incredible person doing things to save the planet. Now I despise him for what he has become. That being said, no person should have citizenship revoked because of something they said. It is almost like our Constitution is just a piece of paper that the president does not have to abide by. That is the scary thing. Story 140. This sounds like classic Donald Trump rhetoric mixing politics with personalization. Whether you love Elon Musk or hate him, focusing on a constructive debate about tax policy might be more productive than making threats. Plus, reminding someone of their birthplace as an insult seems a little dated. Story 141. They are both terrible people. I hope they destroy each other. Their words are full of hot air and dramatics. It feels like a big distraction from more important matters. Story 142. Hate to say it, but Elon Musk is right. Giving money to wealthy individuals and making future generations pay for it by increasing national debt is simply ridiculous. Story 143. Where was Elon Musk when we needed him? Now he is without credibility trying to save us. Too little, too late. If you are eaten by alligators in Florida, you made your bed. I do hope maybe he can make a difference. I do not think so, but maybe. Story 144. I could not care less if Elon Musk is deported. I hope his revenge is a full confession of how he rigged the election. Story 145. It is embarrassing, but Elon Musk realizes what Rudy Giuliani learned. Everyone around Donald Trump goes under the bus except him. Story 146. Send him to El Salvador. They have made it clear that citizenship and the law do not matter to people they consider inferior, so why should it be any different with this person? Story 147. I cannot understand why Donald Trump is biting the hand that feeds him, but whatever. Let me refill my popcorn. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.